How's it going, everyone? Grant here with Rise Magic. It is good to be back, sitting down here in the studio to talk with you guys about some more card magic, or in this case, cardistry. Now, these moves that I'm going to be teaching today were meant to be at the end of my 3 beginner one-handed cuts video. However, with as much detail as I wanted to go into on those moves and these variations of those moves, the video ended up being way too long, and I decided to cut these out and make them into their own separate videos. If you guys have not seen that video, I recommend watching it right now. But if you want a refresher on those or just to see the video, I'd recommend watching it before going on to these variations. So without further ado, let's get into it. I hope you all enjoy. Now that you all know those 3 basic cardistry one-handed cuts, we're gonna go on to some of my favorite variations of those cuts. Now the first I like to call the triple cut or the extended cut. There is probably another name out there that I don't know or usually call it by, but these are my favorite names for this cut. So what you're gonna be doing is performing just your normal Cartier cut, except up at this point when you let the top packet fall onto your first finger. You are going to be letting, once you get to that point, you're gonna be making contact with your thumb to about half of this packet, like so. So, once you have the cards right about in this position, you can do it before or after you let the cards fall. Once you get good at it, you'll usually rest this packet on top. So as you use your first finger to bring out that deck, you can close it. Oh, that's a little spoiler for a head. Or you can let that packet fall all the way and push this packet up to your thumb. And then as you make contact, you're gonna be using your first finger and your middle and ring finger to pinch and let that drop and bring those cards back into that packet. It'll be more of a complex cut. It will shuffle the cards a little bit better, but this one will take a little bit of getting used to as you just practice it. It's fun. It's a fun move. It's a little bit more flashy than just your normal Cartier cut. So letting it fall, you get there, you can either let it fall all the way, bring it out, and then let this fall and bring it back in, or you can let that packet rest about on half and use your thumb to make contact with the half of the cards that are exposed from this packet. Then as you bring your hand forward and release that bottom packet into this pinch, this packet will naturally split into 2, allowing you to bring it back in. I'll do it one more time. Just like that. Now it's a fun cut. I encourage you guys to experiment with this, have fun with it, and we'll be getting into our next cut. Now, this next variation you probably have seen in quite a few places. People love to do this. There's a ton of different ways to get into these displays, but this would be our triangle one-handed cut or even our box one-handed cut. Now, the triangle one is the one I'm going to be showing you today. The box is a little bit more complicated, but even with just that triple cut we just did, it kind of leads itself into naturally getting that deck into a triangle formation. That's one of the easiest ways to get into that triangle, and I'll be showing you that right now. So we're performing the normal Cartier cut, getting it so that packet is resting halfway on this bottom packet that you pushed up, then letting that bottom packet fall down and then catching this top packet with your thumb before it falls down as well, making this triangle. Do that one more time. Just like that. So those of you who are a little bit more flashy, I would recommend doing that full extension of the triple cut and bring it back in and making the triangle. Now, there are literally at least 20 ways that I know that you can get into this. Finding different ways to get into that triangle is a lot of fun, and I encourage you to experiment and find new fun ways to get into this triangle grip with just your one hand. All right, so at this point we have gone over the 3 cuts that we know. We've gone over some variations of the cuts, and the video should be over at this point. But in all my generosity, and because I love you guys so much, we're gonna go over a couple bonus cuts that hopefully some of you can use. They're ones that I use all the time and I use for chaining together one-handed cuts and just kind of doing my own thing with them. So these are kind of my little bonus special extra feature for you guys who've made it to this point in the video. And let's just get right into them. Now the last thing I am going to be leaving you guys with today, like I said, is 2 bonus moves that I believe you guys can get some mileage out of and really use to combo moves together. Now those of you with small hands, I apologize because this move is harder to do with small hands, but that is the thumb cut, where you're going to basically bring your thumb over, grab half the deck of cards while jamming the cards into this flesh part of your hand right here, then letting that half packet drop, and then using your ring, middle, and first finger to create a pinch and bring it right on top, essentially doing a reverse Charlier. Now you do not have to use your ring finger in this cut. A lot of times I just use my first finger on bottom and then my ring and middle finger on top to do this, but whatever way works best for you to pinch them. So if you do have small hands, keeping the deck as close to the top of your palm as possible does help, so that you have a lot more distance, so that this distance is not covered just by the length of your thumb, but it's also covered by some of your palm as well. That might make doing this thumb cut a little bit easier for those of you with small hands. So I hope you guys are able to use that. I like to use it to combo things together, so I can do a revolution cut, then a Charlier cut, and then bring it right back in to having it on top, kind of doing a hot shot cut type finisher to go and catch that card. That's one of the combos I like to do. I hope you guys can find different ones. Now this last move isn't really a one-handed cut, but it will kind of mimic a one-handed cut. And that move will be this little finisher that I have right here. Now you can get into this move any way you'd like, and that might be letting the top packet fall on top of your ring finger after Charlier Revolution cut, or it could be when you can do a thumb cut to let the top packet go on top of your ring finger. But essentially how you want to start this move is by having your middle finger on top of a packet and your ring finger below. Now once you have that, you're essentially going to be using your ring finger to kind of flick out while keeping your middle finger pulled in the same place on the deck. And that kind of allows you to use your ring finger to push out and let this packet start rotating and then flip over. Now once you get to this point, you can kind of let the gravity of this packet fall and complete that rotation. Then you'll use your thumb to push on this bottom half of the deck inwards, using your middle finger as a pivot point for that turnover you do with your thumb. As you do that, as you finish this up, your thumb pushes it forward with your middle finger as the pivot point. This card packet will fall on top of your thumb, letting you use your thumb to pull off a card or even go over to the other side to perform a scissor cut. There's a lot of combinations you can do out of this small little move. It works really well to combo one-handed cuts together. I use it all the time. I find it a lot of fun, and I hope you guys use this a lot too. All right, so there we have it. I hope you enjoyed those variations on those basic one-handed cuts. These are honestly moves that I use a lot more than the original Charlier Revolution and scissor cut in the first place. So I hope you guys are able to make use out of them, whether it be linking different one-handed cuts together or just use them for whatever. I love them. I use them all the time, and I hope you guys will too. Leave a comment down below letting me know if you have any questions or if there's anything else that you want me to go over in future videos. But other than that, if you did enjoy this video, you feel like you learned anything at all, please give it a like. I appreciate it a lot, and it helps us, it really does help the channel. But if you're still around and you're new here and you haven't yet, what's keeping you from subscribing? Seriously, if you've watched the video to this point and you haven't subscribed yet, what on earth is wrong with you? Seriously, put all this effort in to make this video. You've watched it all, you've enjoyed it, you've even maybe hit the like button, you haven't subscribed yet? Seriously? Unbelievable. Honestly, I'm hurt. You're hurting me. Truthfully. So it's simple, it's easy. Just one click. One click. You don't have to smash it. You don't have to do anything else. You don't have to like punch it. You don't have to do anything that might be considered abuse to that like button. You just click it. Not the like button, the subscribe button. So, honestly, what's your deal? Why aren't you? Subscribe. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will see you in the next one. It's gonna be a good one. Not exactly sure what it is yet, but whatever it is, we'll see you. Peace.